Over to Africa now, here on the programme, where tensions are high in Cameroon as supporters of the political opposition hit the streets in a number of cities nationwide. It's all in the wake of the presidential election results, which saw the nation's leader, who's been at the helm for over 40 years, get re-elected for yet another term. The locals are not happy. They're demanding 92-year-old Paul Biya step aside and let the country forge a new path.
50 years in power, Mr. President. We don't want you now. We don't want you anymore. Every day promises. Everyday promises. We don't want it anymore.
Excuse me, please. Change the system. Give us peace. Give us peace, Issa Chiroma.
We have chosen the person who will lead our country from now on. We want to change our country. We want someone. After 43 years, we've never seen anything like it. After 43 years, Mr. Biya has achieved a great deal. He's done a lot. We thank him, but we want him to hand over power to someone else, and the person has to try.
We've come out en masse here to march, to claim what's rightfully ours. For nearly decades, we've had enough.
Well, a tense and volatile moment is unfolding in the Central African nation of Cameroon, where the announcement of presidential election results has sparked unrest and fresh questions over the country's democratic future. Basically, the official results are in. Long-time President Paul Biya, in power since 1982, has been declared the winner of the October 12th election, securing about 53% of the vote. But his main challenger and former ally, Issa Chiroma, is officially listed at about 35%. But the calm of those numbers really hides anger and growing dissatisfaction. Opposition supporters say the vote was rigged, that the process lacked transparency, and that those resisted are now detained. In the city of Douala, which is the commercial capital of the country, we are hearing that at least 4 people were killed during those clashes between protesters as well as security forces. We also understand that security forces were placed on high alert across the country ahead of those official announcements by the council. And according to Chiroma's camp, early unofficial tallies shows that he had over 50% of the vote. They claim that the official results that we're seeing now are designed to keep Biya in power, but the ruling party has dismissed those claims, saying that the vote has been legitimate. What we do know about the current president, Paul Biya, is that he has steered Cameroon since 1982, and that during that time his government has maintained very close ties with France, the former colonial power. Analysts, experts and citizens note that French businesses and French foreign direct investments remain major players in Cameroon's economy, and that the bilateral relationship between France and Cameroon reaches deep into security, governance as well as economic arrangements. So for decades, Paul Biya's regime has welcomed and nurtured this partnership between itself and France, which critics say has enabled a kind of neo-colonial dependency, because large French involvement in key infrastructure and natural resource sectors are seen, link ties in defense and cooperation as well as economic structures that benefit French firms. So at this particular point, it is also reported that President Paul Biya spends most of his time abroad and not even in his own country. So opponents say the heavy French alignment has allowed the country to remain weak, and that Paul Biya's governance has kept the elite interest intact rather than delivering change and prosperity to the citizens of Cameroon. So they see Chiroma as a credible agent of change. Even Chiroma's campaign message emphasized what young people really want to hear: reform, transparency, and more jobs for young people. His campaign even went as far as arguing that Paul Biya's governance has paralyzed the country's potential. And we can also see on the streets how Chiroma has won the support of young people in Cameroon. And I guess that's why even on the ground, security forces have surrounded Chiroma's residence. But have a listen to this.
The whistleblower persistently called me to awaken me and to give me the information about which very heavily armed people wanted to storm my house, to extract me from my family and to take me away. What was their intention? I don't know. I always keep saying the same thing. The Lord Almighty and the people are my protection. Remain vigilant. Remain awakened. Be ready to protect me because you are my unshakable protection.
Now, for those wondering what this means for Cameroon, it means serious risk of escalation. The country has long faced internal crises, including a violent conflict in some regions and frequent accusations of corruption, as well as electoral manipulation, with the president now leading into another 8-year term, or rather 7-year term. Many citizens, especially the young majority, say their voices are being ignored. We aren't exactly sure what happens next. But if protests continue and they continue to grow, the government faces critical options, either to open up to dialogue, enforce stricter security measures, or allow the disorder to spread. So the next 48 hours are crucial. Any spark could ignite a larger confrontation. For now, though, the results are declared, but the legitimacy of those results remain fiercely contested.